All right, Mr. Taliaferro TV out there. What was that? Yo, what was that? Anyways, Mr. Taliaferro TV, how's everybody doing out there? Yo. Jimmy Butler, trade saga, still going on. He's still a Minnesota Timberwolves as of when I just shot this video at 5:40 p.m. in the evening time of Friday. All right, so here's my thing. Jimmy Butler has had as wild an NBA summer as I've seen in quite some time. If this was this is my point about Jimmy Butler, right? And I'm gonna get into the story. Please give me 1 second to get this off my chest. Jimmy Butler believes he's this important to be like a top 15. He thinks he's a top 15 guy in the league, right? He's did all this summer, and two things have happened or not happened, right? He's still a Minnesota Timberwolf. After all that, he didn't win and he threw the hoop earrings in. He didn't wild out. He said, wah, I want to trade it. Get me out of here. I don't want to play with Wiggins and Karl-Anthony Towns. I don't want to. They don't talk about all that. He did all that. He's still in Minnesota right now. And the second thing, he's still not a top 5 storyline this summer. Like, I've been covering this story, and a couple, obviously some big time outlets have graced it, but he's still not leading SportsCenter, right? He's still not gaining the attention that a LeBron would have if this was a him, or a KD, or a Steph, or even, hell, even a Kawhi. Jimmy Butler did all this, and with all that being said, at best, it's a top 7, top 8 storyline of the offseason. It's still not bigger than LeBron going to LA. It's still not bigger than Kawhi getting traded to Toronto, and obviously DeMar DeRozan going to San Antonio. It's not a bigger deal as DeMarcus Cousins joining the Golden State Warriors, in my opinion. There are a couple other storylines that I would say are bigger than Jimmy Butler and his trade saga. So the point I'm trying to make is, Jimmy B, you see your place in the league. You are a second-tier guy. All right, that's all you are. And there's nothing's wrong with that. I'm just saying, like, yo, you're speaking as if you're this superstar. You're not. You're not. You're closer to Andrew Wiggins than you are than Karl-Anthony Towns. That's what I want to say. You're closer to Wiggins than you are Karl-Anthony Towns, if that makes any sense at all. All right. Now, I thought this was worth noting. Guys have wanted me to give them updates on this trade saga. Minnesota has a list of teams that Jimmy Butler would like to be traded to. That list includes the Clippers, Brooklyn Nets, and the New York Knicks. Now, notably missing is the Miami Heat. That's a team that has the assets to get the deal done. They're just a team going after Jimmy Butler. They actually want Jimmy Butler, right? They want to break up the Hassan Whiteside Miami Heat. They don't like their roster right now. They don't like Dion Waiters and Hassan Whiteside. They want to move those guys. They actually been shopping them all summer. So in regards to those guys, they'll be traded by the trade deadline for sure if Miami struggles. Unless Miami comes out and is like a top 4 seed at All-Star Weekend, they'll be out of there, those two guys. They actually like Jimmy Butler in his game, and they know him and D-Wade got somewhat of a close relationship. This is obviously D-Wade's last season. That'd be dope to have Jimmy be on the roster with him as he goes on his farewell tour. The thing is, Minnesota wants Josh Richardson and Bam, right? And Miami doesn't want to part ways with one, especially not both, if they're going to part ways with one of the guys. So that's kind of like Miami wanting Jimmy B. That wasn't on Jimmy Butler's short list. His short list was the Clippers, Brooklyn, the Knicks, and a couple other teams around the league. By the way, none of those teams will make the playoffs this year, and he said he's all about winning. Anywho, it's worth noting that Brooklyn did make a call to Minnesota about Jimmy Butler. They made a call. All right, it is worth noting that the Clippers made a call to Minnesota about Jimmy Butler. They didn't get anywhere on the deal. They didn't make a call. But it's worth noting that the New York Knicks will not have Kristaps Porzingis this season, probably. Right? At earliest, it'll be March after he comes back from his injury. I doubt he plays this season. What's the point? It's worth noting that the Knicks have not made a phone call to Jimmy Butler, to Minnesota or Jimmy Butler's agent about a deal getting done with those two teams. So New York has not even made a call. Either they have an esteem amount of confidence that they can get a deal done this summer, or they're not too interested in getting Jimmy Butler. It's one of those two things. I'm going to be honest with you, Jimmy B. You're learning your place in the league. You wanted out of Minnesota. You're crying now. You're doing interviews saying, I want out. They don't appreciate me. And the interest for you is at an all-time low right now. You are in the last year of your deal, and you're telling teams you'll sign long-term. All they got to do is trade for you and say that they want you. And teams are not doing that. You told the Timberwolves that you want to be a New York Knick, and New York has not made a phone call about you, my brother. Brooklyn has not gotten a deal done for you, my brother. The Clippers. Everybody knows Jimmy Butler wants to be in Los Angeles with the Clippers. No, I mean, what? They got some assets. The Clippers are not going to be good. They can get it done with some picks. The point I'm trying to make, again, Jimmy B, you're learning your place in the league. And the fact that the Knicks have not made a phone call to Minnesota about you, to me, is very telling. That team is going to struggle this year, right? They're going to struggle this year without Porzingis. You know what that's telling me, Jimmy B? They'd rather struggle and get a lottery pick and go after a guy probably like Zion Williamson out of Duke, right? They'd rather struggle, get a lottery pick, and go after somebody in the draft next year than to have you on their roster, a guy who's what you should be wanting to get in the lottery, right? I know Jimmy Butler wasn't a lottery pick, he was late first round, but you want to get a guy of his caliber right in the draft. You hope for things like that to happen. They'd rather struggle this season, waste another season, and get a lottery pick to get somebody in spite of you. All right? And I like Kevin Knox too, by the way. Kevin Knox might end up better than Jimmy Butler. He's really good. They rather keep their rookie Kevin Knox and just roll with the team that they got, because Kevin Knox probably would have to be in the deal to get it done with Minnesota. They rather just keep their guy, Kevin Knox, and develop him instead of taking you and your attitude. I think it's time for Jimmy Butler to check himself, man. He's not as enticing a guy on the market as he thought he was. And he's being shown that this summer, in my opinion. Y'all tell me what y'all think about the New York Knicks not making a offer to Minnesota for Jimmy Butler. I'm out. I came from nothing, but I want everything God has for me. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I still represent the culture.
I got the kids. You are now tuned in.
Yo, we locked in right now, Mr.
TALIAFERRO'S.
Mr. TALIAFERRO'S.
Mr. TALIAFERRO'S.
Mr. TALIAFERRO'S.
Shout out to Mr. TALIAFERRO's.
You're watching Mr. TALIAFERRO'S TV.
Mr. TALIAFERRO'S TV. Here with the Triple B's, you can't do nothing but win.